In this movie, I'll show you how you can get still better results out of Illustrator's auto tracing feature by first upsampling the image to a higher resolution inside Photoshop. So I'm going to start by switching from Illustrator to Photoshop, and then I'll go up to the image menu and choose the image size command. Now, one of the great things about this dialog box these days is that it's scalable, so I'm going to make it take up the entire screen, and that way I can see a big preview of my image as I work on it. Now, notice over here we're seeing a resolution value of 300 pixels per inch. Ideally, if I wanted a higher resolution, I would have scanned the image at a higher resolution in the first place. Unfortunately, the scanner I used, as I was saying, it's just a consumer-grade office scanner, tops out at 300 pixels per inch. You just can't get any more fidelity out of it. Fortunately, Photoshop CC is very good at upsampling these days, and so to add pixels to an image, you turn on the Resample checkbox, go ahead and make sure the setting is automatic, and then crank the resolution value up to whatever it is you want. In my case, I'm going to go up to 600 pixels per inch, which is going to double the number of pixels horizontally, as well as double the number of pixels vertically, so that we have 4 times as many pixels as we had before. At which point, I'll go ahead and click the OK button in order to upsample that image. Now, it may take a moment in order to apply the change, after which point, I'll go up to the File menu and choose the Save As command, and I ended up saving this file as upsampled to 600 ppi .jpeg because I'm working with the JPEG format. And I'll even just go ahead and save over my original image by clicking on the Save button, followed by Yes. You always want to make sure your JPEG options are cranked up to the highest quality, which is 12. And if you set your format options to baseline optimize, you'll generally get a slightly smaller file. At which point, go ahead and click OK in order to save that image. Now I'll return to Illustrator. To be safe, make sure that nothing is selected on screen, and then once again go to the File menu and choose the Place command, or you've got that keyboard shortcut of Control-Shift-P or Command-Shift-P on the Mac. Then I'll go ahead and locate that file I just created, and I'll click on the Place button in order to load my cursor with the image, and then I'll just go ahead and click, not drag, with the cursor in order to place the image at its full size. And now I'll just go ahead and drag it into place, and assuming that your smart guides are turned on, it should snap into perfect alignment. All right, now go ahead and zoom in just a little bit, and I'll return to the Image Trace button and just go ahead and click on it. At which point, of course, Illustrator will warn me that this is going to take a while to trace because, after all, I'm working in a higher resolution, but that's what we want. You may at this point want to turn on the Don't Show Again checkbox so you're not reminded of this bad advice in the future, after which point go ahead and click OK in order to begin the trace. And it is going to take a few moments here. You are going to see 1 or 2 progress bars go by, after which point I'll just go ahead and zoom in and I'll click off the image to deselect it. And now let's take a look at the difference between the higher resolution scan and the lower res scan. And it's probably going to make a little more sense if I zoom in a little farther. This is the tracing of the 300 pixel per inch image, and this is the tracing of the 600 pixel per inch image. And as you can see, we get more fidelity in this tracing. We have a lot more lines to work with. And it's especially noticeable down here where we've got some words. This is the 300 pixel per inch version versus the 600 pixel per inch version. And so you can make that kind of difference just by upsampling the image inside Photoshop before you trace it in Illustrator. After which point, I'll go ahead and rename this newest tracing 600 ppi and press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac to accept that change. All right, and just to be safe, I'll go ahead and turn off the 300 ppi version of the image. All right, so we are making some very positive modifications to this tracing, but we can do better still with the fragile details by adjusting the threshold setting, as I'll show you in the next movie.